Alright, so today marks the end of the third sprint, which, as you might remember, I decided to extend by 2 weeks because the last sprint review I didn't get to finish it all. I didn't even get remotely close, to be honest, and that was because I didn't plan it too well. I was too ambitious with my goals, etc. But today the report is looking much more positive. I was able to finish much more than I did 2 weeks ago, and I'm very excited to show it to you all. So let's get into it. All right, so we are back in the Unity game, and as you can see, this house already looks a lot more finished than it did 2 weeks ago. You may notice that it still isn't textured yet, and I wanted to do that this sprint, but I didn't get to it. Well, I did. I tried it, and I found this very good looking brick wall texture, and I put it on the wall in Unity, and it was sideways. The bricks were upside down. Well, not upside down, they were vertical, and that obviously doesn't work like that. And I couldn't figure out why or how to fix it. So that's why I removed it, and I decided to come back to that later. When later is, that will become apparent in the near future. But I did also finish something else that was on the ticket, and that is the interior of the garage. I am aware that it looks a bit small, but in the reality, it isn't really that small. This could probably fit a car still right in here if it's not a too big one. I might extend the depth of the garage later if I do find that this is actually quite small in comparison to the average garage, but that's a concern for later. As you can see, there is a bunch of stuff in the interior. There is this cork board, which I have decided to use as kind of a progress tracker, if you will. As you go along and as you find out more about the company, get deeper into their systems, etc., more and more clues, or I guess, well, kind of like a detective board that you see in the movies and stuff, with pictures and maybe strings connecting them. Just information about everything that the player should know about Varian. All right, and as you can see, we have a prompt showing up as soon as I get close to the laptop, and I will get into that in a second. But as you can also see, not everything in here is textured yet. The floor isn't, the walls obviously don't have texture, and neither do these small little beer bottles here, which I added as a nice little feature to show that it was previously owned by a different family before our protagonist Eli got here. And there's these little boxes that were used to store auto parts with some pallets below it. But now the thing here is, I also said that I wanted to make the laptop interactable. You get close to it, you press a button to open it. And the original goal was also to have the actual player sit down for it. I didn't get that finished either, unfortunately. That's simply because I couldn't find a good sitting down animation. I searched on Maximo, I searched on the Unity Asset Store, and all were just idle sitting animations, not an animation of a player going from sitting to standing, which is what I was kind of looking for here. So that, along with another animation ticket, I moved to the backlog. But if you look here, the laptop is kind of being blocked by the chair, but the laptop is very much here. Also, as you can see, I still need to add colliders and make the camera adjust to its surroundings. But if I now press E to interact, like you see on the prompt there in the top left, it opens a HUD element and it closes the prompt. It also locks you from walking. I know you don't really notice it, but I can't walk right now. So that, and then when you press escape, it goes away. You can just walk away from the laptop again. So that's for the in-game progress. And now I will take you over to Trello for the status update there. And as you can see, my backlog is nearly empty. There's still the animations for the sprint and the shove from a couple weeks back. And there is now also the animation ticket for the sitting down. Now in the in progress you might see something new there. That's to set up Obsidian. Obsidian is a markdown notes-taking application where you can just have it all in the same folder, and it's really useful. You can link them to each other all in the same place. And now I was setting that up. I already have some notes in there, but I haven't finished setting it up entirely yet. But then for what my goals are for the next sprint. As you can see here, it is sprint 4, Eli and road mapping. Now I combined two smaller elements into this sprint because I figured that both were important and both weren't that large. So let's get into that. So first of all, I want to find a good placeholder player model for Eli, our protagonist. And I want to find a good base that I can work off of, maybe make some slight alterations to make him look more like he's supposed to be in the environment that I'm building. Because obviously no model that I can find on the Unity Asset Store or Maximo is going to be exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try to make some alterations to it and make him look like how I want Eli to look. So that's that. And then the road mapping part of this sprint, that's nothing really technical within the game. That's not modeling. It's nothing in Unity. It's nothing in Blender. It's just notes, basically. Because my current long-term goal is to get this game ready to create a Steam page for it, not yet to release it on Steam. That's years away. I expect it to be years away at least. And I currently want to have a little demo that I can use for some screenshots, a trailer video, so that I can get a Steam page up and running and start hopefully collecting a few wish lists here and there. And I was planning to really type out for myself what that means to have it Steam ready, basically. So what do I need to have finished? How do I need it to look? Does it need to be perfect? Does it not? How perfect do I need it to be? And most importantly, by when I expect to finish that. And then I also wanted to plan out the goals of each sprint until then to get me there. Currently, I am hoping to get that done by August, September. So that is about 3-4 months away. And I think that that should be very achievable. Now, of course, there is the summer holiday in between, and I will be gone for a few weeks here and there. So the game progress might slow down, but on the other hand, I don't have the same responsibilities with school. So I do have more time when I am home to work on the game. But that's, once again, a concern for later, but that's something that I will factor into my planning. And for so far, that's my progress and my plans for the next sprint. And by the time you see this, I will probably have made the tickets in the backlog for what I want to achieve for this sprint. I will have worked out the tickets. Maybe I'll even have some columns, as you see right here, for the upcoming sprints leading up to the Steam page release. But I will talk to you again in 2 weeks with the progress that I have made. And once again, thank you all for being here, and I will check back in with you 2 weeks from now.